Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into a genuinely fascinating framework that maps out exactly how professionals can navigate the rapidly growing world of sustainable practice. We are unpacking the global certification and professional development pathway. Think of this as a fully structured ecosystem, detailed right in our source material. Whether you're actively job hunting, running a freelance consultancy, or steering an entire business, we're going to unpack exactly how this pathway charts out your potential next steps. I want you to just think about that question for a second. Usually when we talk about upskilling, it implies starting completely from scratch, right? Like pausing your career and dropping thousands of dollars up front. But this ecosystem, it approaches things totally differently. According to the pathway data, navigating this complex journey actually starts with something you already have sitting on your hard drive, your existing professional profile. All right, let's unpack this whole pathway ecosystem. Now, I know a big, comprehensive flowchart can seem a little overwhelming at first glance, but honestly, if we take it step by step, it reveals this brilliantly interconnected system. It all begins with your starting point, your profile, moves through some really clever assessment and training mechanics, and ultimately converges on a variety of global certifications. It's a highly dynamic map, and it adapts to wherever you're at in your career, from job seeker all the way up to business owner.
So, where do we start? Well, the entry point for this entire journey is simply your CV. And there's a really crucial detail noted in the source material here. It explicitly states all industries. You absolutely don't have to already be working as an environmental scientist to enter this pathway. Everyone begins right at base camp just by feeding their current CV into the system. Basically, your past experiences and current skills become the raw data that generates your customized route.
Now, if you're a job seeker, the pathway outlines a super interesting entry point, the industry matching job subscription. And get this, the data shows the entry cost is highly accessible at just $30 per year, literally the cost of a few cups of coffee. For that $30, the system actively matches your specific profile with the exact demands of the current job market. It's just a fantastic, low-barrier way to start mapping out your career progression. That subscription basically kicks off an active feedback loop. Here's how it works. Every single month for a full year, you receive the 10 best job titles that match your profile. The strategy outlined here is that you use those specific listings to run a gap analysis. By comparing the skills those jobs require against your current CV, you can pinpoint your shortfalls and level up your profile. Then, all of that updated info feeds directly back into the pathway's CPD, or Continuing Professional Development, scoring system. It's a continuous cycle of improvement. Okay, so when that gap analysis inevitably shows you need some new skills, we move into Track 2, intensive training, which is all about bridging the skill gap. The source material is super transparent here. It lays out exactly what these practical training options look like, based on your time and budget. You've got a 1-day advanced certificate for $350, a 2-day professional certificate for $600, and then a 3-day professional certificate, which actually includes the ISO 17024 track for $950. These aren't just expenses. They're positioned as strategic, compounding investments that feed right back into your CPD scoring system.
Now, a really crucial point is how these training programs actually evaluate you, because they don't use standard sit-down tests. The pathway specifically relies on assessments via licensed workbooks in applied sustainable practice. What does that mean for you? It means the assessment is based on real experiential learning, directly at your workplace or through actual project involvement. You demonstrate your competence by applying sustainable practices directly within your own organizational environment. No hypotheticals, just real-world application.
And all of that preparation, it leads us to Track 3, the summits, where it's all about achieving global credentials. So depending on your specific goals, your performance in the scoring system maps out to 3 distinct qualification pathways. The first summit is the GFM track. If your assessment maps to the GFM scoring system, you can pursue certificates issued directly by GFM out of the USA, and you get to choose from 5 different categories. The fees for this pathway start at $1,500 or $2,000 if you're going for a DESC only. Then we have the second track. This one offers either an executive diploma or an executive master in applied sustainable practice. And again, these are evaluated strictly through that workplace experiential learning we talked about. The executive diploma comes with a fee of $2,300, while the executive master is $3,500. A really cool detail here is that these are issued in strategic partnership with recognized institutions like IBE, UiTM, and Planetium, which really validates that high-level workplace involvement. And finally, we hit the third summit, the ISO 17024 certification. By mapping through this particular scoring system, you can officially become a recognized competent person in ESG compliance and reporting personnel. This certificate is issued by AQSR in the US, with Think Plus Academy stepping in as the registered training provider. And the fee for this specific, highly sought-after compliance credential? It's listed at a very accessible $250.
Okay, we've covered a ton of ground, but the source document points out a really important baseline you should know about. Every single candidate starts this journey with a completely free initial assessment. Literally zero financial barrier to finding out where you stand right now. Plus, partial reports are given out upon request, absolutely free.
Now, if you want to unlock the complete, full payment diagnostic report, the fee is exactly $85. And honestly, this report gives you the full picture. It shows exactly how your current CV maps to matching jobs, your standing in the CPD system, the exact training you need, and exactly which of those 3 global summits is realistically within your reach. So we've seen today how this specific pathway outlines a really clear route to global sustainability credentials without making you start from scratch. It uses your existing CV, targeted gap analysis, and incredibly practical applied training. The roadmap is clearly defined right there in the data. The real question is, as sustainability becomes absolutely critical across literally all industries, how are you going to map your own progression? Are you ready to grow your role in the global sustainability ecosystem? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. I'll see you in the next one.